Yo, come on in. So, today is gonna be a little bit more of a chill video. We're just gonna hang out. I'm gonna walk you through my apartment and show you my office and kind of talk through what went into making it and the thought process I had behind the build. So, for starters, this is the living room to my apartment here in downtown Los Angeles. Right here, seems like a pretty good place to start. This is probably the most important part of this room, and this is my whiteboard. I share this with my roommates, so this column here is mine, but for me, a whiteboard is absolutely essential. I use it all day, every day, for all kinds of stuff. I'm a big lists guy, so that's the main thing. I do a lot of lists and notes, project lists, daily lists, things I have to get done or remember. It's also great for diagrams, you know, because you can draw and easily erase things and connect dots and whatnot that is kind of hard to do on a computer. So if you're a creative and you aren't using a whiteboard, I highly recommend that you try one out for yourself because it's probably my favorite tool to use just in my day-to-day. I use it literally nonstop. Right over here, we've got where I keep my lights. I actually am just borrowing this NAND light from Sam, but right down here I've got my Westcott Flex kit, and you know, LA apartments, they don't really have much space, so that's why it's out here in the open. You just gotta have to find a place to tuck it away where it's not really in the way, and that's why it's there. Right over here, on either side of the couch, we have another one right down there, is these LED light tubes, just for decoration. I couldn't honestly tell you what brand it is or what they're called. We got them for free, but it's just a nice little decoration piece, you know? Who doesn't love RGB lights? So that is what's going on in this area. Then right over here, we've got our couch and our TV. This is our jank TV setup. Obviously, it doesn't fit on the on this furniture piece, but you know, it works. As you'll see, there's a lot of things in this place that are just kind of jank, but you know, I'm not that worried about it. As long as it gets the job done, it's good enough for me. Right over here, we've got our spare desk. So any creatives that come by and they need a place to work, we've got a spare desk for them to work at, or sometimes, you know, my roommates might use it because they don't all have a desk of their own. So it's great if you have the space and the capacity to have an extra desk. It's a nice thing to have when you're trying to have kind of like a creative studio. So spare desk. Oh, right here, we've got our first poster. I'm a big fan of the Spider-Verse movies, and I just love the poster from the first movie. I added right there on the top my favorite quote from the movie: "You're on your way, just keep going." So it's a nice little inspirational piece. I love coming out here and reading that, and, you know, keeps me going. Right over here, we've got my roommate, Kane. Kane is in the second bedroom right over here with my other roommate, Damien. They're both in the music industry, so it's great having other creatives in the house. We're constantly showing each other our work and, you know, asking each other what, you know, for feedback and whatnot, even though we're in different mediums. But it's good fun to have like other creatives doing cool stuff, you know, in and around you. It all helps with the tone and motivation, and we keep each other going. But this high top table here is where we eat. It's where Kane loves to hang out. It was actually custom built by my other roommate, Damien. He had some extra spare wood lying around, and so he built this high top table for our windows because we're on the 8th floor and we have this incredible view. So it's really nice getting to just sit here and eat some food and look out at our view. But yeah, I just love the fact that he built this table just from scratch. Doesn't look particularly special, but I love it nonetheless. I'm a big fan of that. Right over here behind our couch, For our wall decoration, we've got these 2 floating shelves with these plants. I got these shelves off of Amazon, and everything I talk about in this video will be linked down in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. I love the look of these like floating shelves with their hanging by this little rope. I think it looks super cool. And then these 2 plants are both real live plants. I'm a big fan of plants. As you will be able to see in this video, we have plants all throughout the house. The only thing that's not real is these little vines here. These came with the shelves, and they have LED, these little fairy lights strung in them. So I really love these shelves, and they're not that expensive either, which is great because I'm poor and on a budget. So right over here, above the kitchen, we've got some storage. This is some of my stuff. It's a lot of kind of prop stuff, some props and some prop clothing and whatnot. But again, storage is tough, so just trying to find wherever we can to stash some things away. And there happened to be that space above the kitchen. So that is just kind of some random knickknacks and whatnot. But now for the part that you guys are all here for, my office. So my office is also my bedroom. As you can see, I've got my bed and my desk all tucked nicely into this part of the room because this is my half of the room. Right over here, I've got the other half of the room, which is my roommate, Lays. He and I share this room because we are poor. But Lays just starting his film and photography journey. He's actually filming this right now. Go ahead and say hi.
Hello, everyone.
So yeah, it'd be awesome. I'll link his Instagram down in the description, but go say hi, check out his work. He's just starting and we love that for him. So go show him some love and support. But let's talk about the office. So obviously when you're looking at my office, the main decorative piece here are these posters. I'm a big movie fan, so I knew that I wanted to have posters as kind of my main decorative centerpiece. So I picked my 3 favorite things from 3 different mediums. First of all, here we have my Arcane poster. Arcane's one of my favorite TV shows, and I love the poster for the first season, so I had to have that on my wall. Then I've got The Shadow of What Was Lost. This is one of my favorite books, and I absolutely adore the cover for the book, so I made it into a poster. And then, of course, right here, I've got my Interstellar poster because it's one of my favorite movies and arguably one of the best movies ever made. When I made these posters, I had never done posters before or made my custom posters before. So it was a little bit of a learning process, and even so, I'm still honestly confused. I wasn't able to find any high quality images for these posters online, and I couldn't find any information on how I could find those. So they look great from far away, but if you get close, they are kind of pixelated and have some banding. And I did my best to upscale them in Photoshop, but the images weren't high quality enough. So I honestly still don't even know what I'm supposed to do about that or how I can find high quality images for making posters. If you know anything about that, I would love to hear down below in the comments. So let me know. But, you know, they work. From far away, they look great and you can't even tell. So I knew for the poster frames that I wanted kind of slim and sleek poster design. So these are just some basic poster frames from Amazon. They kind of come apart at the edges. Not sure why. They're just not that high quality. They're fairly cheap, but they still look pretty good and I'm happy enough with them. The one thing I did that really made these posters work and made them very expensive, this was by far the most expensive part of the posters, is for these 3, I changed out the glass that it came with a non-reflective plexiglass, which is an absolute must. Without it, you couldn't even see what was behind the poster. It was like a mirror. They were really expensive at $60 a piece, but if you're going to have posters or something like this in your own house, you're going to need to have some non-reflective glass. And it works really well. It made a huge difference. It cuts out 90% of the glare. So that's an absolute must-have if you're going to do something like this. The other thing I did to customize these posters is for each poster, I added a custom quote from the thing that it's from. This is something I learned from Sam when working on his office, is wherever you can, you want to try and add a little personal custom touch. And this was the best way I could think of, is to add an inspirational quote or just a quote that I love from the thing. And it's just fun to look at. When I'm working, I can look up and see some inspirational quotes, and it also makes it different from what anyone else might have. The poster lights are just, again, some basic poster lights from Amazon. They are wireless, so you can control them with these little remotes here. They can change color temperature. They have 3 different brightness settings. Yeah, nothing too fancy. Again, they get the job done. In order to charge them, it's kind of annoying because they're not on battery. You do have to charge them. You just take them down there. You have a wall mount, and so you just take them down and charge them. Nothing I have, because of my budget, is particularly fancy or top of the line. It's all kind of middle of the road stuff, but it gets the job done. The other main feature of this office, which I'm sure you've noticed, are the vines. The vines are all alive. They're living plants. I've got 4 up top and then 2 that come from the bottom. And the way that they're watered, I have an automatic irrigation system set up. So underneath my desk here, I've got a big 5-gallon jug, and it is attached to a water pump that's on a timer. So every 3 days, it automatically waters them. The irrigation tubing goes up this corner, and they're all taken care of without me ever having to do or think about them, which is super nice. It means I can travel and I don't ever have to worry about them being watered. And even just on my day-to-day, I don't have to water them or worry or think about these plants, which is super nice. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty proud of that feature. It's kind of cool. The way I shape the vines on the walls is I just use these little command clips. So they're gonna be easy to remove when I have to tear this all down, and it allowed me to kind of shape where the vines are gonna go along the walls. I personally am not good with anything that has to do with interior design or aesthetics. It's not my strong suit, so it was a real struggle for me to figure out what I wanted to do with my office. And it took quite a long time for me to think and figure that out. And I had to ask myself some questions like, okay, what kind of aesthetics do I like? And what vibes and tones am I going for here? And what I ended up landing on is I'm a big fan of the kind of rustic and industrial look, kind of greens, browns, golds kind of color palette. And I also am a big fan of post-apocalyptic kind of nature taking back, like overgrown look. Like any post-apocalyptic movie, I'm always drooling over. So that gave me the idea. I was like, oh, I could have vines covering the walls, like almost as if my room's been abandoned and nature has been slowly taking it back over the years. So that's how I came up with that idea. And it turned out pretty much exactly as I had imagined, which I'm stoked about. I was like, okay, I can hang these posters on the wall, and then I can have the vines growing around them. Let's talk about the desk here for a moment. This is just a desk I found on Facebook Marketplace. The monitor came with it for free. It's not a fancy monitor. It's, just kind of like your basic 1080 monitor, and it's not particularly great. I do all my color grading on my computer monitor because it has accurate color science, but it's my first time having a widescreen monitor, and I will never go back. It is so nice to have the extra real estate and for editing to have that extra long timeline. So I love having this widescreen monitor. It's an absolute essential if you're an editor. When I do have the money to get a actually nice high quality monitor, I will probably get one from ViewSonic. They have really nice widescreen curved monitors, and that's probably what I'll get when I have the funds for that, but I currently am not in that position. So if you do have the money and you want to get yourself a nice widescreen monitor, I would recommend checking out ViewSonic because they have really high quality stuff. The other main thing for my desk is this office chair. This is the FlexiSpot C7 ergonomic office chair, and I'm in love. I love this chair to death. If I were to recommend one thing for you to invest in and get for yourself in your office, it would be a nice office chair. I've in the past always had, cheap little $50, $70 chairs that I got off of Facebook Marketplace, and it's awful. You can't do that to yourself, especially with how much time I spend in my office and at my desk. Editing is absolutely essential. It's really nice. It's got all kinds of adjustable knobs and whatnot so that you can adjust it however you like to sit. And I'm really tall. I'm 6'5", and it fits me perfectly. So really, I think that this chair would work for anyone of any size or stature. This is not sponsored, by the way. I just really do love their products that much. If you want a nice office chair, I highly recommend you check out FlexiSpot because they've got some great products. Right over here, this is my favorite thing that I bought for my office, this lamp with these hanging light bulbs. These are Edison light bulbs, so they're kind of like old-timey look and vibes. It fits my kind of industrial theme, and another really nice thing about it is it's dimmable. So it goes down to basically nothing. You could have just like the light bulbs barely glowing, or you can turn them up so they are casting light. But this is a great lamp, and definitely my favorite thing that I bought. This was $80, I think, on Amazon, so it's a great lamp. This guy, on the other hand, this is probably the dumbest thing that I bought. This is a little old-timey film light lamp, and this was $140. Was it worth $140? No, it was not. It is terrible build quality, straight out of China, and it doesn't work at all, but it does look cool. And when I was making my office, I wanted an extra prop for my background and an extra light to motivate any extra lights I might have going on in my office. So it works for me. I'm ultimately happy with it. But is it worth it? No. So do with that what you will. The last thing that I did that brought my whole office together is I installed these darkwood bamboo blinds. And as you can see right here, these are the curtains that originally came with the apartment, and it looked awful with my new office build. I had everything built and those curtains were still there, and I was like, this just isn't working. It looks awful. Like, what am I missing? And so I took down those blinds and I added these, and the moment I did, it was a total aha moment where it was like, oh, it's done. That was the missing piece. They fit the tone, color palette, and the vibe, and that was the final thing. It's like sometimes you're just like missing one thing, and it's one small detail or one more thing you can add that's gonna bring the whole thing together. And the most important thing by far is to make sure that all the color tones, fit. White curtains don't fit with anything in my office. So the dark wood bamboo shades, they fit the vibe, they fit the color palette. So that was the final thing that just made it all come together. And when I finally realized, I've got a great office. Right down here, I've got these two little shelves where I just keep some gear. I've got my extra cameras and lenses and drones, that stuff. And then right over here in my closet it serves also as my gear closet. So I've got this shelf in here so that I can fit more things. And this is all of my gear and equipment, tripod, sandbags, C-stands. I've got my hard drives, batteries, chargers, you know, all that good stuff. My box of death, all my cables, and then I've obviously got some like personal effects, some clothing and that kind of stuff in there too. But I'm really happy with this because it's all organized and I can quickly find and grab anything I need for equipment. And I don't know, it's my first time kind of having like a little gear closet, so I'm just stoked on that. I think it looks cool. Oh yeah, let me talk about this. So obviously, I mean, there's not much space. I only have half a room and I needed to be smart about how I put this together. Originally, I had the desk facing the windows and it was just not space efficient. Having all of this extra space here makes a big difference when I'm filming, and for some reason, I couldn't tell you why, it just felt like it had less space when the desk was that way. So I played around with it a bit and I found that orienting my bed and my desk all on this wall gave me the most open space and looked ultimately the best. Because when I made this, I originally made it just so I had a nice background for my videos, a little film set. But surprisingly, I've found that it's hugely affected my whole workflow and my work life. It's inspiring to sit down and have a nice space and a nice atmosphere to work in. And that's not something that I originally thought I would be saying or feeling, but it made so much more of a difference than I ever would have given credit to. So I can't recommend enough to do something. Like before, I had the mindset of, you know, oh, it's fine, I'm young, I can grind away in a little box, I don't need fancy things, but it does make a difference. So if you are in a position where that's been your life so far, I know there's gonna be some people out there like that as well who also just think like, I don't need that. At least do a little something, because it does make a huge difference in just the enjoyability of working. I think that's pretty much it. So I would love to hear what you think about my office. I'm pretty stoked on it. Like I said, this is not my strong suit, so I'm just really proud of what I was able to accomplish, especially as this is my first time ever like properly trying to decorate my home and making an office and like a little film set. And so I'm just really proud of how it turned out and what I managed to accomplish. This cost me a pretty penny. The whole office came in at around $1,300, which was far over what I had budgeted for myself, but I considered it an investment in my work and in myself, because most of this stuff can come with me for wherever I go next. It's great, yeah. I'm really stoked on it. I hope you like this, and yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments. Again, everything I talked about here will be linked in the description, so if you want to check it out for yourself, you can find it down there. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.